All right, guys, welcome back to the seventh episode of the Leverage Legion Remodeler Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Chad. He's over in Pennsylvania. And for anyone watching this who doesn't know, this is basically a podcast to help the younger generation that's getting into remodeling and contracting industry, basically just to help them get started, learn stories, learn some lessons. And, it's also for people who are already inside of a business and just want to grow. So, yeah, man. So, Chad, could you introduce yourself?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm Chad Owens, own and operate C Owens Construction based out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. Been doing this for business side as far as that goes. I've been doing this for about 5 years now. So before that, I was in the military and did heavy construction. Was in the Air Force. That's what I did. Did that in the Air Force. Was part of the Red Horse Squadron there. Did a lot of building from the ground up. So foundations, walls, everything. Even learned how to weld when I was in there, but got out of the military and then I got hired on with a fire department in Maryland. Worked down there for 7 years with the fire department. Started this business about the fourth year when I was in the fire department, and it started taking off to the point where it kind of made sense to just hop out and pursue this full time. So
Cool. So you were in the military, or did construction for the military?
I was in the military.
Oh, okay.
The squadron that I was in was basically like the Navy Seabees, but for the Air Force.
Oh, okay, cool. And how long ago was that?
Oh, geez, 12 to 14 years ago. So it's been a little while, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. Traveled, got to see some different places,
Hmm.
and it was neat.
So that was the first thing you did once you, I guess, were like 18 and you started your career, or did you have like something before that?
So before that, I did. My buddy's family owned a water purification company, and I was just a water purification technician for I think about a year, and then after that, that's when I went into the military. So, but yeah, right out of high school, yeah, it wasn't long after high school that I joined the
Hmm.
military. So
And then you said was it 4 years after that you started the company, or what was it?
no, so I got out of the military in 2017,
Hmm.
and then in 2017, I was hired by the fire department. I worked there for 7 years. I started my
Oh,
business
okay.
in so 4 years ago, so 2022. So, and for a while, I was doing this like part time, doing like side jobs and everything like that. But it started taking off, and about a year and a half ago is when I made the leap for full time into this business. So I'm still kind of like in the startup phase. That's uh, you know, still learning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been fun so far.
Awesome. The screen is it's kind of frozen right now. I don't know if it's the same on your end, but
No, it's going through on my end.
it's you're like you're completely frozen for me right now. I can hear you well though, but
Hmm. No, I mean I'm watching you move. Let me
do you
check my
have
let
what
me check my Wi-Fi.
are you
Yeah,
on a
no, we're good.
computer or what is it?
Yeah, it's a computer.
Oh, okay.
Did it unfreeze?
Uh, it's like a little bit better.
Yeah, because I got full. My Wi-Fi is like full 100%. So yeah,
Yeah, because I can edit this out, but I want the clips to send to you, and I want I don't want the screen to be frozen. So
no, I got you.
just want to
I
make
got you.
sure it's
Yeah, I mean I'm not tech savvy, man.
yeah.
So I don't know. Other than to check my Wi-Fi, like my Wi-Fi status is pretty good.
Okay.
I could switch it to like a hotspot and see if that works better.
Whatever. Yeah.
Try that. You there?
Still there.
All right.
Cool. You hear me?
Yep. Am I moving?
Yeah. Nah, it's better. It's better. Okay. Yeah, we can cut that out. So,
Okay.
what were you saying again? You worked in like the fire department.
Yeah. So I worked in the fire department for 7 years. I was a firefighter EMT, and did started this construction business, just helping a couple friends out on the side, and it just started snowballing, and was getting to where it was too much to do both. I was limited on what I could take on. because as a firefighter, I worked 24 hours on shift at the station and then I was off for 48. So I really only had 48 hours in between my shifts to be able to get work done before I had to go back to work again. So it was really limiting what I could kind of
Hmm.
take on. So
So did you have to have like a lot of capital set aside to start this? Or did you
no,
not?
no. So
Mm,
when we were in the military, I met my wife in the military and
mm,
we had bought a house, flipped it. Just so over the years, I've been accruing, tools and everything like that, everybody would need for, basic homeowner stuff. But I probably took it to the next level because of some of my background. Even growing up, my dad, he worked in construction. So I was helping him around the house. So I would see tools that he needed and I would be like, okay, well, that came in useful for
mm,
him. That would be useful for me. So like over the years, I've just started accruing stuff. So really, no, I didn't have any capital really
mm.
into it that I needed to really put down. So I really had everything that I already needed, which was a huge
What do you think you need to like start a company?
the tools to make it work, obviously.
Mm, yeah.
You also need knowledge of the field that you're going into. So that comes in huge play when you're talking to customers. Not everybody knows everything that you do. I've gone and looked at a couple of jobs before, and they're like, "Well, what if we did this?" It's like, "Well, no, that won't work from a structural standpoint. You can't really do that." So, like, you really have to know your job and what you do every day well before you can
Mm,
really start doing it. Otherwise, you're just going to create issues further down the road
mm,
that you're going to end up paying for,
yeah.
whether it be reputation or out of your pocket because you got to go back and fix it. Another thing is like people skills. You got to have great people skills if you want to go far. And I say go far, but I've only been doing this for 5 years. But really good people skills helps you go a long way. If you can talk to people and not lose your cool, that helps a lot.
So you were really knowledgeable. Were you like solo when you started, or did you have like a team that you had?
Yeah, when I started, I was by myself, so I didn't take on very big jobs like a flooring job or a small deck or something like that, something I could handle myself. But as things started going on and I started saying yes to more jobs, there's a guy at our church. He actually still works for me, but there's a guy at our church that I talked to him and he was like, "Yeah, heck yeah, I'll come and help you." So he's been with me ever since, and it's been a huge blessing having him because he knows a lot too. So I can trust him to go and do something and on another
Mm,
aspect of the job where I can finish doing something else. So
mm,
that's been huge. But right now it's just myself, and I'm on the job site every day too, and
mm.
then two other guys.
Cool. And when you first started, how did you get those first couple of jobs? Where did they come from?
So the one was actually in my neighborhood. It was a friend of our neighbor, and she recommended me. The other couple, they came from coworkers from the fire
Mm.
department, and then it just from there, just kind of referrals and even people from church. I did a few jobs for them. So
And how did that first year look like for you? Would you say it was a good year, or was it troublesome?
I guess for me, it was good. I don't really know how to compare it to other people because I still
Yeah.
was working full time in the fire department while working on growing the business. So like I didn't have any callbacks. I didn't, nothing like that. So like it was good in that aspect. And I wasn't struggling, financially because I had the fire department paycheck. Excuse me. I had the fire department paycheck to fall back
Yeah.
on. So it's kind of hard to judge that. But I would say the first year when I quit the fire department, that first year was tough because I didn't have any fallback, any backup, plan.
Yeah.
So that was a huge learning curve. Yeah, I would say, and that was year 3 of the business. So I would say that was probably my hardest year.
And with the fire department, how did you balance out the hours from that and the business at the same time?
That was tough. It was tough. So yeah, that was the hardest part. Like I said, I was on shift for 24 hours, and then I'd go to a job site the next morning, and then come home, and I'd have to either do estimates either really late at night or early in the morning. And yeah, it was tough. There were a few times where I could, get away at work and the fire department and work a little bit on estimates, but that was kind of frowned upon. But I
Mm,
mean, I just was trying to find time when I could to get the work
mm.
done. So,
And would you say, like today, would you say that was all worth it?
oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I will say, like, I since quitting the fire department, I've had to really up my time management
Mm,
skills because I don't have time away from the house to be able to work on some of that stuff as much as what I did. And I still want to be present for my wife and kids. So I don't want to be completely absent from them, but at the same time,
mm,
I still need to provide for them.
mm.
So
And with the time management, did you have any sort of strategies that you use to, balance the time a little more and make it work?
no, not necessarily.
Mm,
I've noticed though that I get up early, and like I typically get up early, read a little bit, go to the gym, and then if I've got a little bit of time left over, work on that. And then I even stay up late too to work on all that. It's still kind of a juggling act. I'm still working on it, but no, I wouldn't say there's any like tactic or anything that improves it. It's just you have to figure out when to get the work done and when it works best for you.
And when you started this, did you have a niche that you had in mind, or was it like general construction?
So when I first started, it was like I'll take anything.
Mhm.
But over time, like I've really kind of like narrowed it down, like to decks, siding, doors, windows, and sheds and pole barns. But before, I would take anything, flooring, doesn't matter, kitchens, bathrooms. I was trying to take it all, but I found that I'm better suited for and more productive with stuff exterior based.
Mm.
I'm a lot more proficient at that stuff.
And are those exterior jobs, are they like, is it a slow season during the winter because it's cold out, or is it like
Yeah.
always?
Yeah,
Mm,
no, it definitely is. It does slow down in the winter. So like if flooring job does come my way, like I try and reserve that for winter time or something where I'm a little slower. I will still do some of that stuff. I'm just like I said, I'm not as proficient at it. So like depending on some things, it could end up costing me a little bit of money, which
mm.
in the end game isn't ideal either.
And to get those clients, was it all referrals, or did you have to use any, marketing strategies to get a consistent amount of jobs coming in?
Yeah, so a lot of them are referrals. Facebook, like local yard sale sites have been huge. That's helped me a lot, but then also yard signs. I think I've gotten more work off of yard signs and Facebook postings than anything. So, but no, I've never really done any marketing
Yeah.
strategies. Never even paid for like Facebook ads or anything like that. The Lord has just blessed me with the ability of work to come in, and my prayer from the very beginning has always been, bring
Mm,
me the clients that you want me to work for.
yeah.
And he's never let me down. So,
And would you say faith has had a big impact on your company?
yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I try to treat people right. In fact, I don't even try. I do. That's the best thing to do. Honesty is the best policy. If you can always be honest with your clients, then this hands down that goes so far. But also, just listening to the Lord or the still small voice that's in your head, your conscience, whatever you want to call it, it it goes a long way. The Lord is, if you're faithful to the Lord, He's always going to bless you. He's always going to provide, and that's been the case. There have been times where it's been scary, like, oh Lord, are we going to make it? But yeah, no, He always shows up, and it's awesome. It's cool to see those little moments as just as from my perspective, it's just awesome to see those. So.
And what was like a time where you might have like thought of stepping away from the company? Has there been times like that?
Not yet. I mean, it's been 5 years, a year and a half full time. I've not felt that way yet. it's still early. I'm still kind of like in your startup phase, I guess you want to call it. But no, I've not currently thought about stepping away. There was a time this past winter where it was like, well, maybe I should start looking at another job because jobs weren't coming in. It was stretching us a little bit, but and we were starting to run out of our reserves.
Yeah.
But no, I've not really thought about stepping away.
And what has pushed you through those harder times when, things were slower?
Faith. I mean, every time, pray without ceasing. I'll put it that way. Prayer has gone a long way, and even just listening to what the Lord has to tell you. I mean, like I said, He's never let us go without. And every time I start stressing about that, He reminds me of that.
So with the referrals, how does that work? Do you get it from the clients and they tell other people, or is it like how does that
So
work?
yeah, a lot of times people will call me and they'll be like, "Hey,
Mm,
I got your number from so and so. They referred me. You did some work for them, or family member or whatever." Yeah, that's really kind of how the referrals work. I've not really had any referrals like
yeah.
other than that. People will refer me on like I said, those Facebook yard sale sites. Like people will refer me and throw my name out there for that,
Mm.
and people will reach out, and so that's really about how that's worked.
And you'd say that is what caused your company to start growing, or was it? What do you think started it to start growing more?
I would say, yeah, I would say the referrals
Mm,
because at first it was just in, a small job here, a small job there. But then like once people found out that, I was, doing stuff on the
mm.
side, it was, yeah, referral base really picked up.
And you said you had a team at the beginning, right?
No, so at the beginning it was
Oh,
just
okay.
me. About, I don't know, 6 months to a year in is when I got my first like employee. And like I said, he's been with me ever since. This past year is when I hired somebody else full time as well.
And these are like subs, or what are they doing?
No, they're payroll employees. So they're payroll under me.
And how'd you find them? Is it through like connections, or did you have to like go reach out?
So honestly, both of them have been through church. I've met them at church. The one he's same age as me,
Mm,
and he's pretty knowledgeable. So like I was able to bring him on. He's been a huge help. And then the other one is a 20. I think he's 20 years old and 19 or 20, and he's been with me for about a year now, close to a
mm.
year. And but yeah, both of them, I met them at church, and yeah, I was talking to them, hired them, and worked out pretty well.
And at what point did you realize that this was going to work? Like this is something that you're going to go like 100% into?
That's tough. There was a lot of jobs that I was having to refuse or turn down because I was at the fire department because of the size and scope of work that they involved. But when I realized that I was starting to get bigger inquiries on jobs, it was it was kind of like, okay, I got to start looking at something else, or whether it be find subs that can do the work for me, or I got to go another route. So like I really prayed into it on, what do I do? It was tough because the fire department offered me a pension at the end of my time, but I ended up, praying about it, and I just felt like the Lord was saying it's time to step away
Mm.
and, follow this business venture and go full time with it.
And the fire department, what were the hours for that? Was that like similar to like a 9 to 5 job, or like how was that?
No. No, not at all. Not at all. So like I would go in at 6 a.m. in the morning. Actually, I had to be
Mm.
there. I would go in and get there at 5 a.m. and then I'd be there for 24 hours. So
Oh,
6
wow.
a.m. to 6 a.m. would be my shift. I was on for 24 hours and then I was off for 48. So on for a full day, off for 2 days, and then on for a full day, so on and so forth.
Mm.
So, and there were many sleepless nights that I'd be going into work, work a job site the next day, with little to no sleep.
And you think sacrificing that for the company, you think that was something that was worth it? You saw it like in your mind, the freedom of the company.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anybody that goes into business thinking that they're going to have free time, don't kid yourself, especially during the first couple years. I mean, like
Mm.
it's a grind. I'm still working on, time management and free time and everything like that. And it's limited, but a big part of, starting a business is, you find out systems that work for you
Hmm.
and systems that don't work. So it's a lot of trial and error. But once you find systems that start working for you, you can put them into play. So, like one thing I've been doing lately to free up some of my time is AI has come a long way, and my wife helps me train up in AI. I give it, what I need to do for this job, and it comes up with my material lists and it types up a scope of work for me. So, like my estimating time has gone down to like 10 to 15 minutes as
Yeah.
opposed to like 2 or 3 hours. So that's been a huge help.
And when you estimate a job, like how does that process work? Like, do you use like some sort of software and then you plug it into the AI, or how does that work?
No, so I'll just go out, I'll meet with the customer, look and see what they've got going on, what they want. And then I base everything off of my own knowledge of, how a job needs to be completed, you know, post size or,
Hmm.
whatever. And then I've trained the AI up to, know how that I perform my work, my material list. So like I had to submit like 30 different material lists and 30 different
Hmm.
estimates to the AI for them to figure out like how I do everything. And it,
Hmm.
went in from there. And actually, I
Hmm.
shouldn't even say me. My wife did a lot of that. So I have her to thank for that. She's been a huge help with all of that. And it's
Hmm.
saved me a lot of time.
And which AI do you use? Is it like a chatbot or what is it?
Claude is what I ended up
Claude?
using. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I use that too.
Yeah. Huge help. Huge help. So
And when you're like estimating these jobs, like, do the clients ever like price shop, or they always like choose you?
now I wish I could say they always choose me. I think more often than not, I think a lot of it comes down to people don't necessarily understand how much materials cost anymore. Because a lot of people that I go to price out for like, let's just use a deck for instance, they just don't understand that pricing has skyrocketed over the past six
Hmm.
years, and you're not going to get a deck for $5,000 anymore.
Hmm.
It's just, I mean, you're paying that just in the materials. I mean, as far as a deck goes, you've probably got almost $1,000 just in screws and other fastening hardware to get it completed properly.
Hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Like there's so many people that they don't understand what things cost anymore, and so yeah, there's a lot of price shoppers out there, and that doesn't help. But I mean, it is what it is. That's just part of the business. You're not going to ever avoid
Mm.
that.
And how do you like inform the customer about the pricing? Like, how do you educate the customers?
So a lot of that is like it took me a while to figure out pricing on stuff and kind of get a handle on that. But once you kind of get used to it a little bit more and you kind of start doing it every day, you can kind of give the customer a ballpark price on what they're going to be paying roughly. And and sometimes you'll see them look like a deer in headlights or they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Hmm.
But I mean, a lot of it comes down to practice and knowing, your numbers and what you think everything's gonna cost. And
Hmm.
so
And are you okay with like turning down customers, or do you always take any job that you can?
no, I don't always take every job that I
Hmm.
can. I've been blessed with the ability to read people pretty well. And I think that goes a long way too in any business because if you get started with the wrong customer, it could be problems. So it's beneficial if you can read people and read little clues that they may throw out to be like, okay, this may be a problem client. Or, hey, whatever. But I've also, like I said earlier, prayed that the Lord would just put everybody that He wants me to work for,
Yeah.
you know, in front of me. So I've, knock on wood, never had a bad client. All my clients have been fantastic, fully understanding. If I run into a problem, they fully understand. So it's been huge having great customers that know, you know, they understand and they give grace when it's,
Yeah.
needed.
And what do you think those customers look for, specifically? Like, what is the number one thing that they need to see before hiring somebody?
I think I see a lot of times people saying, "Oh, well, we hired this contractor and yada yada yada," never communicated, never, and that's that's been a repeat that I've seen other people complaining about other contractors. Never communicate, never communicate, never communicate. And I think communication goes a long way between the time of, sending the estimate or, whatever. I think communication can go so far in just winning a client over. They need to feel important too. And if you can make them feel important, I think you've already kind of won that job.
And like, how do you stand out from the rest of the guys, bidding these jobs? Do you have, maybe branding or like the way you guys sell? Like, how do you stand out from the competition?
I'll be honest, I don't know. So, I mean, like, I feel like every building company is pretty similar. I try to keep, as far as like my employees, like myself and my employees go, like I try and keep a presentable appearance. We don't have like uniforms or anything, but
Yeah.
like shirts. I've got the guys a couple of shirts. If their boots are starting to look like tattered or whatever it may be, like, their boots are falling apart, their soles are falling, like, just, get some new boots, just keep a clean, presentable appearance. And I think that goes too to like even how you show up to look at a job site. Are you well presentable? Or are you dressed in like a swim trunk with a tank top and flip flops? You know, so really, if you can present yourself well and keep a clean appearance, I think that goes a long way.
Nice. And I was gonna say this. Have you had any like crazy stories in your company? Or, like any story that's like very memorable that you have?
Well, just recently, probably about a job or two that I finished up just recently involved tearing the roof off of this house, the section of the house, and putting on new trusses and a metal roof. And I was trying to find dry days to be able to do this because I knew I needed at least 2 days to be able to get it dried in. Um, everything tore off and then new trusses set and roof back on. I knew I needed 2 days. So I was looking for 2 days where it was going to be dry. And I was just fighting to try and find the time to get it done. So I found 2 days where the weather was saying like, yeah, you're good. It's, we're going to be dry. No chance of rain. Second day, I mean, it dumped buckets as we're putting the plywood sheathing on this roof and soaked all the insulation in the attic. Rain water was coming down through the ceiling. So, I mean, this kind of goes back to, having great customers because they could have been furious, but they extended an amount of grace to me that helped me out tremendously because I felt horrible, but just the grace that they extended to me in that moment
Yeah.
was huge. In
Yeah.
the fact that, yeah, a horrible situation happened. I couldn't avoid it. Mother Nature
Yeah.
does what she wants to do.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're understanding and were extending grace to me was huge.
Yeah.
We ended up drying everything in, but it was a huge learning lesson. I'm going in, I'm going in like 2 weeks to replace all the drywall in their house, in their ceiling. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to eat that a little bit, but at the end of the day, again, if you treat your customers right, you're going to go, you can't go wrong by treating your customers right, doing the right thing.
And would you say that helped you in the long run? Like the lesson?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of learning that came from that. I don't tear roofs off often, thankfully, but when it did, unfortunately, when I did this one, it just worst case scenario happened. But no, it definitely taught me a lot. Humility is huge. If you can stay humble, don't let your pride or arrogance get the best of you because you may be good at your job, but at the end of the day, can still happen and mistakes happen. And if you're humble enough to be able to admit that and face that, then you're good. So, humility is huge, but it taught me a lot to, you know, have that lesson. That unfortunate event happened because I've not had to deal with a customer in that kind of aspect of like that big of, damage to a house. So I learned a lot just through that, how to make things right after something unfortunate does happen.
And on the note of that, what is one like financial lesson that you learned the hard way?
Don't spend a lot of money before your slow season. Yeah. I I definitely spent some money before our slow season. Ended up buying a dump trailer before winter last year. And yeah, I didn't need it all winter. So it just kind of sat there and I could have used that money all winter. So like that's yeah, spend
Hmm.
wisely. And it can be hard because you can see the benefit in some of these,
Hmm.
some of these things. So like, oh, this could really, help me in this moment or this season. But if it can wait, try and get it to wait, you know, don't overspend. It's easy to do. It's very easy to do, but yeah.
And was that at a point where you were earning like a consistent salary or like a income, or were you just starting at that point?
So that was right after I quit the fire department and pursued this full time. I shouldn't say right after, it was shortly after. So yeah, no, I wasn't earning a consistent salary at that time.
Mm.
And I had a pretty good line of work coming in. And then after I bought the dump trailer, it just kind of fizzled out, tanked. So yeah, no, I wasn't getting a consistent salary, but
Hmm. And looking at it now, would you say you're at a good place right now in terms of the revenue, jobs coming in? Would you say the business is going pretty well?
yeah, yeah, it's definitely on the up. Reputation and references, everything like that have increased. And really, biggest thing is like yeah, like I said, reputation. Like if you get your reputation out there, you know that'll go a long way. And
Hmm.
it's definitely helped me. Things are definitely turning around and they're going up. So
Nice. And I mean, I guess when you first started, what is like one thing that you wish you knew that you didn't know?
hmm, that's a good one because I've learned a lot since starting. Learned about a lot about me. I would say you can edit some of this out, right? Because
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
stumped me on this one.
No, you take your time. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that wish I would have known when I first started. I would say just how much money there is on the back end of things, like business insurance, vehicle insurance, everything like that that goes into it, payroll, fees and taxes, everything like that. There's a lot more that goes into all of that than what I really even knew. And I hired an accountant too because I don't know any of that stuff. Like that stuff is so far over my head that it's not even funny. But so I had overhead costs of an accountant, insurance, vehicle insurance, workers' comp. Workers' comp can get expensive quick, and just the general insurance policy as well, and payroll. So all of that stuff, I wish I would have had a better idea of. But that's just been a learning curve that I've had to tackle as I go.
And you would say you're pretty up to date with that now.
I'm definitely better. I wouldn't say
Hmm.
I'm up to date, but I'm definitely better on, knowing my numbers as far as everything that I have going out to keep the business afloat.
Cool. And like for the future, where's the company headed?
Hopefully up. Yeah, no, like I'd say over the next year, I want to continue growing. I'd like to add, one or maybe two more employees to be able to help get jobs completed quicker. Time is money, so if you can get your jobs turned around quicker, that helps tremendously. But yeah, no, I think I'd like to add, a couple more employees and start tackling, bigger projects that I probably wouldn't have been able to do, now that I have, only three guys. But I'd also like to have somebody to where I can have them run the job site. And if need be, I can go step away and take a look at an estimate, or a
Hmm.
job and get at completed and sent out while they're managing everything on the job.
Hmm. So you want to kind of step away from the business, like the hard work, and kind of automate things so you can focus more on the sales, the estimates, and then have people on the back end, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I don't want to step away fully
Yeah.
because I do enjoy the work, but it definitely would help tremendously to be able to focus on estimating and going and meeting with clients. You know that would help free up a lot of my time.
And let's say, someone young, like they're 18, they just want to start a company. What would you tell them like to do first?
don't get started in something you don't know. um, because that can, I mean, you can learn quick, but I think it helps tremendously to know what you're getting started into. Don't let your confidence get the best of you, because it can humble you quick, whether it be, something, you did something wrong, you got to tear everything out, and then that's eating into your profits and everything like that. But anything can humble you real quick. So don't let your confidence get the best of you.
Awesome, man. And one final question just to close us off. What is like the final piece of advice you'd give to, people in the industry, especially the younger ones? I guess you're like the best advice that you'd have for someone.
Never stop learning, because there's so much technology goes into everything, and products are always changing or updating, whatever it may be. So like, never stop learning, because there's always something new that you can learn. And the more you know about your industry and what you're selling and building, the more you can, relay that on to the customer and let them know. And it better helps you sell jobs, because the more you know, the more it instills confidence in the customer that, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, and you came a long way from that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So if people want to, find your work, you have like a Instagram or like a YouTube?
Yeah, so I don't have YouTube.
Hmm.
Not the greatest with social media yet.
Yeah.
That's never really been my biggest thing, but I know I need to get better with that. But I do have Facebook, C Owens Construction, same as Instagram. I don't have a TikTok or anything like that, but yeah, those are my socials. You can find me there.
Awesome, man. I think that was a great episode. I think everyone watching will, take in the information. I think there are some inspiring moments that people can take note of. And yeah, man, appreciate you having on this podcast.
Thank you.
We'll
I
see you guys in
appreciate
the
being
next one.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.